How do you talk about a game where describing it spoils one of its greatest moments? How do you talk about a game that affects me, that I can't stop thinking about, that I haven't been able to stop thinking about for months? How do I talk about that game when every word I say to describe it could ruin the experience? How do I talk about a game that I can't talk about? How do you talk about Outer Wilds? I first played Outer Worlds back in, I think, May. We were maybe a month and a half into lockdown. I remember my first playthrough pretty vividly. I have a tendency to sort of rush through story sections, but I made this conscious effort to sort of digest what was going on around me. I wanted not just to make the most out of, the money that I spent on it, but also, not just let this be a fleeting moment, and I'm so glad that I did, The moment I vividly remember the most was climbing up the sort of rocky path, and I remember thinking, what is this weird shadow that keeps going over the place? I was like, what is this? What's happening? And then I looked up, and I see the moon, the outer lock, orbiting the planet. Dude, that's cool. That's really, really cool. There was just something about it that just connected to me. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I couldn't stop thinking about this game, this world. I wasn't fully ready to let go. And that was when I asked one of my friends to play it with me. I guess to get started, why is it that you played Outer Wilds?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Do you want the honest answer?
Honest answer.
I had no clue what the fuck Outer Wilds was. You kept annoying me to play, so I was like, okay, I'll play.
And was there anything in particular that you could think of that in the game that sort of grabbed you?
Ryback.
Ryback?
Period.
Your favorite planet, I suppose, would be Brittle Hollow because of Ryback?
I mean, yes and no. I hate the whole concept of Brittle Hollow, the whole thing of the fucking everything falling and shit. It was so annoying to do. What would be my favorite planet? One that was like calming and easy to do. There's one that is normal or ish.
Timberhearth.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I struggled too with it because I'm more grabbed by the universe as a whole than any individual planet.
The individual planets were cool and all, but 90% of the gameplay was spent trying to get there. So it was more like enjoying the ride, and I don't know. It was cool. It was cool to like get there, and once you get there, you just get pissed, or at least that's my case.
One of the main reasons that I ended up wanting to play with my friend was that I turned the music off, because someone in our voice chat had played Duel of the Fates, because some of them were watching, you know what I mean? And we wanted this dramatic music for when I went to do the final sort of mission of the game, and I just remember completing the game, and that outro music was supposed to play, but it was just silent, and I was just there wishing I had the music on. I was crying, and it's not like an unfamiliar experience for me to attach really hard to media, but this was something. I knew in that moment that even though we played different games, we had different interests. I just felt like he'd appreciate that moment. He'd appreciate it how I did, and I know at the end of the day he had he had a very different experience with the game to I did, but he ended up in the same place. And I have a little bit of pride in me because it was one of the few times I've managed to make him cry. That was one of the best moments of the summer. How can all this time on a game that I finished in 22 hours, how can that still be in my mind? How do I talk about that? I think there's more to why 4 months, nearly 5 months after I first played the game, why I'm still playing it with another person, another friend. There's got to be more to it. Why I still care. If someone said, "What is Outer Wilds?" what would you say it is?
A space exploration mystery game where your job is to solve how to save the universe or something.
And why did you decide to play it in the first place?
Well, because you told me to. I mean, if you're talking about like the reason that I continued after our first playthrough, it's because it was a very intriguing storyline. Like, it wasn't something that I went in expecting or anything. I wanted to see how it continued. I couldn't physically describe the deep meaning within the game to another person without them experiencing it themselves. It is a perfect simulation of space in a sense that at the same moment billions of different things could be happening at the exact same time. You can try and draw all these correlations, but until you have put the whole jigsaw together, you're never going to see the final image.
How you feeling after finishing the game?
Well, I'm not quite sure if I have a word for it per se, because it gave you a lot to think about, and it made a really good roller coaster there. It made me think like, holy shit, I'm on a strange fucking planet, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen. And then it was honestly just quite peaceful, which I think is sort of the point. And no, that's genuinely, it's really good.
I generally enjoyed the game when I first started playing, and it was fun to like learn the mechanics and do stuff that you haven't done. Like, for example, land on that one moon. That I forgot to ask. Did Oliver land on that?
Yeah, I got Oliver.
Oh, dickhead. Anyways,
he figured it out really quick.
Well, so did I. I'm the best.
Okay.
When I thought I was going to play this game, I felt a sense of competition, and I felt this sense of, I gotta big brain this, and I've got to figure everything out instantly. It's not about that. It is about taking your time, experiencing parts of the universe one by one as they happen, and just going along for the ride with it. Trying to rush it is a terrible idea, and you would be robbing yourself of a perfectly amazing thing.
A lot of the music was very suitable for the planets that I explored, but towards the end was the only time where I felt the music had a direct impact to the game. At the end is when all the different music came together. It reminded me of early times in the game where I'd pull out my telescope and look everywhere to find signals of different music and follow those signals to the planet of the sound as I go through it.
For a while, every time I'd heard that, just the music, I'd just be brought to tears. How do I explain that? There's no logical way to explain that sort of connection. I'm not sure how to describe just how important this game is to me. I'm trying, I've been here talking for nearly half an hour, and I still don't think I've got it. I still don't think I've explained. I still don't even know if I've talked enough about the game to justify the premise. I love this game. I love it so much. How do I explain that? So how do I talk about Outer Wilds, without ruining this experience for you? I've come to the conclusion that I can't. Or at least, I can't anymore. this, I think, is the best I'm gonna get.